excited to welcome back. They're believed to be good for your gut health. Probiotics in different forms available in drugstores, promising many health benefits. But are they necessary? Should we be taking them every day? Should we be taking them at all? Here to weed out fact from fiction is registered dietitian Nishta Saxena. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
So this stemmed off a conversation we had a couple months ago when we were talking about probiotics, and it was in the news that, especially for kids, they weren't necessarily getting what they needed. So what exactly, let's break it all down to the beginning. What exactly is a probiotic?
Really, a probiotic is a supplement that contains what we call good or healthy bacteria. It's kind of the opposite of an antibiotic, which is really what we want to get rid of bad bacteria. So it can come in the form of a powder, a gel, any kind of capsule, and they've created this bacteria in a lab and put it into a package, and then people are taking them as supplements.
So there are times when it is good to take probiotics, especially after you've taken antibiotics.
Yes, and as an interesting fact, if you have diarrhea that's been associated with your antibiotic treatment, which in hospital and sometimes for older people, they can get really severe diarrhea after antibiotics, that's a great place to take a probiotic. There's really specific probiotics that will help shorten the amount of diarrhea that you have and the duration of that diarrhea. So that's a great place to use them.
Okay, when we're talking about the bacteria that's in these probiotics, which sounds so weird to say, but bacteria in the probiotics, how do we want to compare that to the bacteria that's in our intestines?
Well, this is a really interesting point because the bacteria that is in the capsules, gels, powders is nothing like the bacteria that is actually inside your large intestine. That's where all of our bacteria sits and does all of its good work, and it changes over time because it's a very acidic and hostile environment, the human body.
Right.
So it has genetic differences between anything that you're going to get on a store shelf or in a package. They're not the same at all.
Okay, and so this seems problematic to me because I feel like we'd want it to be similar.
We do want it to be similar, and there was actually a study last fall that showed when you're taking something from a bottle or a supplement and you're putting that in your body, you know, the expectation is, okay, well, this is healthy, it'll go in there, and then we'll have the two systems of healthy bacteria working together. Well, that study, it was very small, but it actually showed that the supplemental probiotics can dislodge some of your own healthy gut bacteria, the stuff that you already are growing and doing well with, from growing and developing in your own bowel. And the problem is really, why would we want to do that?
Totally, because you think you're being healthy. You're like, oh, I'm totally helping myself. And then all of a sudden you got this major upset and you've done it to yourself.
You have. I mean, they definitely have a role in very, very specific situations and very specific strains, but there really isn't such a thing as just taking a general healthy probiotic.
Okay. Important to know, probiotics have to be refrigerated. If it's in your cupboard, that's not good.
Oh, actually, that's false.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, so there are definitely some probiotics, most of them, the majority, come from sort of a dairy source. And those do need to be refrigerated, and it's critical that they're refrigerated and kept at the right moisture temperature, humidity rather, because the bacteria will die if it's not kept at that rate. 85% of those store shelf refrigerated probiotic supplements do not actually contain the amount of bacteria that you think they do, and at the level you think they do. But some probiotic supplements that come from soil or even yeasts don't need to be refrigerated.
Okay, good to know. See, I'm learning so much because I think I know so much about probiotics, but you're teaching me here now, so thank you for this. Oh, okay, our next point. All probiotic supplements are basically the same.
Ooh, this is really the main, no, false.
Okay, false.
False. So this is really the main reason that we see problems with the research. We can't study probiotics because it's like comparing apples and oranges. Each different manufacturer may have a different blend. They're often proprietary, so they don't want to disclose, or, you know, they'll have some secret formulations of a whole variety of different probiotic strains in different amounts. So when you try to do a study, you have to have two products that are similar to be able to compare them and compare their effectiveness. And so they are, in fact, not the same at all.
Okay, so when we've been talking about taking things in powder form or pill form, but what about food sources of probiotics? My first thought I go to is yogurt.
Yes.
Is this a good choice?
Yogurt is a great choice as a food. It's a fantastic food for many reasons. I'm going to actually say it's not a great source of probiotic bacteria.
So this is false. Most yogurts are not a good source. Okay.
It's false in the sense that the manufacturing of yogurt, when it's made, destroys those bacteria. So they have to add active culture after it's been made. And the problem really lies in, as the yogurt sits on store shelves and it's exposed to humidity, moisture, and time, that bacteria actually really diminishes and disintegrates. Now, if you're looking at a much more highly fermented dairy product, something like kefir or kefir, that actually has a larger amount of active bacteria added after it's made. And that actually might be a great source of some of those rich lactic acid bacteria. bacteria.
So ultimately, who can benefit from probiotics? Because I feel like the answer is only people who have taken antibiotics.
Well, that's one example, people who do have diarrhea after antibiotics. Some people with really severe inflammatory bowel disease, they've been shown to benefit from very specific probiotic supplementation. There's some new research showing people with chronic constipation, a few small studies, that they may benefit with taking a probiotic to help ease that problem. But you make a good point. It really is very specific, and the strain is very specific. If you're trying to solve a problem with probiotics, you want to really talk to an expert and find the right product for you, instead of just randomly going to store shelves and spending $70 or $80 on something that you may not need. And some groups, like children and pregnant women, we really don't encourage the use of probiotics because they could be harmful.
Okay, I'm a little embarrassed because I've totally been that person. So, Nishta, thanks so much for coming in and setting me straight. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.